The Pokemon Company just announced, unsurprisingly, that they will be having a Pokemon Presents presentation on Pokemon Day, February 27th. What is surprising, however, is that they've also announced a set of Pokemon products ahead of time. There have been rumors floating around for a while that they were going to do some sort of classic games collection, and I think that was probably us hoping for too much. I don't know if that was ever really on the cards. Instead, they have just announced that they are re-releasing Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen, and they're just sticking them right on the eShop. These are not going to be a part of Nintendo Switch Online GBA. They're just standalone releases, the original versions of FireRed and LeafGreen, the ultimate version of the classic Kanto adventure that kicked off this whole Pokemon thing 30 years ago. And, it's tough not to look a gift horse in the mouth, but, there's good things and bad things about this. On the one hand, it's kind of cool that they're giving us just standalone releases. That's the thing about NSO, is it is a pretty good deal if you want to play a lot of old games just for like one relatively low fee per year, especially if you have a family plan. It's just like dollars and you have access to all of these games. But at the same time, what happened to just owning games? We like to just own games. It'd be really nice if we had the option to purchase some of these games. So it definitely is cool that we are going to be able to buy Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen just outright, just right there in the eShop. It's just a download, and then you have it. You don't have to keep paying for NSO forever. So it's like that aspect of it is like kind of good in its own sort of way. But then from where I'm sitting, everything else is just like, what? What is this? What even is this? They're $20 ... each. They're selling each FireRed and LeafGreen for $20 each. And if you ask me, hot take, I may be alone here, I feel like that price is a little bit high for these super duper old games. And I understand that when you're a company and you have these games and they are still beloved and you want to utilize them or whatever, and it's not necessarily this thing where a game diminishes in value forever until it should be free. Maybe you could argue that to a point that that's true. Should we be charging literally anything for NES games anymore? I don't know. I sort of get it. I just it's just, we're already seeing Nintendo and Pokemon and basically everybody in the industry, they're all tightening their belts. Things are tough right now, so they're all trying to figure out where they can kind of push it. Nintendo is always looking to kind of push the boundary of how much people will tolerate, how much they can charge for stuff. And I don't like it, I grumble about it, but for the most part, it's not too bad. But then Pokemon has pretty much always been just good 2, 3, 4 steps further, pushing that boundary just that much further than Nintendo as a whole. And if the other stuff that Nintendo, other amounts they have been charging for things have already been kind of this generation, we're just seeing Pokemon just push it so incredibly hard. $20 each. If it was a 2-pack, I'd still be for games this old, it's what is it, 40 megabytes or something? It's just I could just load it up on my phone in a second. It's nothing. It's so old, it's so tiny. These Game Boy Advance games, for Pete's sake. We have access to so many on NSO, but they're Pokemon. So for the privilege of playing these, $20 each. You couldn't at least combine them. You could not at least combine them and still make millions and millions and millions of dollars. Nope, you gotta push it. You always gotta push it. The whole double release thing, which is it's also hard because we all know that is scummy. We all know that from the beginning, making people forcing them to only have one save file per cartridge and then releasing multiple versions, so you have to buy the same game 2 or 3 times to get all of the content and all the Pokemon. It's already really scummy. I don't want to get on anyone's case, we all make our own decisions, but buying 2 versions of the same game, like that really is a con. That really is enormous exploitation of our desire for like completion, to have the entire, like it's really, really gross to buy the same game again for like 2% different stuff. And they know that, and they know how many people are gonna wanna do it. So yeah, like if 20 is already kind of overpriced, even for both, splitting them up, and so now they know that a bunch of people are gonna be paying 40. It's just, it's too much, man. It's just like, it's ridiculous. And like the whole thing is a mess. That's the thing. Yeah, they're completely separate downloads. You gotta pay, you know, $20 for both of them. But then even beyond that, each language option is its own purchase, is its own separate download. Like, again, these are like something megabytes, like ROMs. You couldn't have made like a little launcher that came up and was like, oh, do you want to play in this language or that? And it just loads up the ROM, because it's still going to be a microscopic download. But no, there's a different version for each version and each language version. And it's ridiculous. Oh, and did I mention that there's no online? There are no online features, so you can't trade or battle online. There's nothing. There's no additional content. There are no changes to the gameplay. It's just ROMs. We're paying for the privilege of playing these ROMs on our Switches. Okay, technically, I don't know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe somehow these are like ports or whatever, but like they're ports of games that we are so used to. Like, yeah, GBA games. They're the easiest things to run in the world. They're the easiest things to emulate. The game sizes are so tiny. They could probably just have like an emulator right there in the software. It could just be running off of that emulator. Again, I don't really know much about this, but that's the way that I understand it. So to have all of these different versions, to have no extra features whatsoever, no modernizations, and then to charge $20 separately for each and every one, it is really aggressively scummy and also just messy. It's just messy. You couldn't work with us like a little bit here. The games are not getting a physical version. Apparently they are in Japan, but it's just a code in a box. So even there, they're like, okay, we'll do a physical version, but only in Japan, because we like Japan the most. I get it, I won't argue there. It's Japan, it's pretty important to them. But even then, it's a code in a box. It's just a hunk of plastic for you to put on your shelf. It's not even the cartridge. We just couldn't even be bothered. Jeez. Oh, and then also, because these are standalone releases and not on NSO, that means that you don't have access to any of the like virtual console features, you know, button remapping, rewind, save states. And I know that that gets like a little bit messy when like you're like trying to trade Pokemon with someone. Okay, yeah, how do you do that if you can like rewind and do save states and stuff? But I think my counter argument to that is, who cares? Who cares? These are ultra old games. We're not going online with them. Who cares? Just let people do whatever they want. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna like be a problem. Cheaters disrupting the meta. It's not a thing. Oh yeah, and then there was like this big Q&A with the Pokemon Company about like the nature of these releases, and when asked why they decided to make these standalone releases and not put them on NSO, their answer was, we thought it would be fun. I think I'm not the only person who finds that a little bit funny. Like, why didn't you put it on the service that where people could play it for free if they're already signed up to NSO? Why did you release them standalone and charge $20 each? Well, we just thought it would be more fun. It's more fun. We think that you'll have more fun if you pay $40 instead of $0 for these games. It's just absurd. They're just pushing it so darn far. And I can hear the comments already. There's gonna be plenty of like, well, yeah, but you're gonna buy it anyway. You're gonna keep supporting these practices. And I have two responses to that. One is my usual response, which is like, yeah, but this is kind of my job. It just kind of is. Like this is literally my job. It kind of doesn't matter what the game is. I just like, yeah, if there's something to talk about there, you know, I get it and I play it and I talk about it and I help people make an informed decision about their It's just kind of the point of being a game reviewer. But then second, in this case, I'm gonna say, I don't think I am gonna buy this. I really I don't even know if there's a video to get out of this. That's the thing about most of this. Like, most of these games, I would not be buying if I didn't have a YouTube channel. You know, if I weren't talking about these games in videos. I don't think I would. Pretty much across the board, I don't think I would. At least not at, like, full price. You know, not for, like, top dollar and all the DLC and all the trimmings. Like, no, I don't think, and especially in this case, like, no, I don't think I am. I'm not even curious enough to buy just one of them. I mean, they're great games, you know? It probably goes without saying. They are great games. They are the ultimate versions of these very, very wonderful games. And you know what? They're pretty content-rich compared to a lot of GBA games that you can pick up and, like, mess around with for, like, a couple hours. Like, no, I mean, it's good. It's, you know, it's Pokemon. It's a big ol' adventure. You can get some hours out of it. That's one reason why they were so popular. That's one reason why their legacy has persisted, is because just these little tiny Game Boy games, yet it felt like this massive adventure. Sure, but yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think I'm interested. If we did have NSO features, or like, you know what I want a fast forward button. I think I would be much more likely to get these games and play them if there was a fast forward button. I think I'm just not patient enough for these games these days. I don't care that much to relive the magic. They're just a little bit too slow. Mostly it's the price though. Yeah, I'm not paying that much. I'm sorry.